Welcome back to Warlord Radio. I am Carrick Coleman. This is Craig Meinhardt. You don't have to say anything, I guess.
Not Carrick.
Yeah, this is definitely not Carrick. And we have Krishna behind the camera, as always. Yeah. I am delighted to introduce our guest today. She has been a friend of mine for so very, very long. I'm talking like decades here. We have the lovely and brilliant and gorgeous and aggressively drunk Ela Darling. I know, right?
Welcome.
Say hi.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. It is an honor to be on your podcast and just so fucking lovely to see you.
It is. It's been, I don't think I've seen your actual face. Like, we've talked a lot, but I don't think I've actually seen you in like 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Was I still married?
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's been a minute.
It's been a fucking bit.
Yeah. So how have you been, first off?
Just slowly melting into a puddle of ennui and existential dread.
Yeah.
But also, pretty good. Like, I just moved back to Texas and...
Yes, so you just came back from LA, right?
Welcome back. Good call.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I lived in LA for about 11 years and... then the pandemic made it feel like living in Los Angeles is like, it's like when you're paying for a really expensive gym membership that you never use, but also the gym is closed. And if you go into the gym, like, you have a non-zero chance of dying. I guess you do anyway. But yeah, it was just too fucking expensive to live in LA anymore. And
well, I'm happy you're back because now you're 4 hours away from me and I'm probably going to come have lunch with you at some point. That'll be nice.
That sounds awesome.
So, for those, we didn't really give you like a whole intro, but like, what were you doing out in LA? Because you have a very interesting story.
Oh, I guess when I left, at the point when I left, I was, so I'm the marketing director for a company called VIRO Playspace. It's a VR adult CGI sort of wonderland. I actually have an experience there. You can like get a blowjob from virtual Ela Darling. But yeah, so it's like it's a sexy app that is about to have social spaces for like just for adults in virtual reality, which if you're not a VR person, basically it's VR porn, but social. And if you are a VR person, it's like VR chat, but not a bunch of prepubescent children yelling at you.
Fair enough.
But also porn. I mean, porn is what I've been doing in LA for 11 years.
So how did you get hooked up with a VR company? Because that's obviously not super usual for a performer, right? So
yeah, so this company, I met them, I mean, it's boring. I just met them at a conference, at a porn conference.
Okay.
Which are really good conferences. But originally, yeah.
But you said you've been doing adult and porn for like 11 years now. God, how did you get into it in the first place? Like, I know how you got into it, but they don't. So yeah.
So I was a librarian. I was the associate director of a library and a reference librarian. And I had also been modeling for a few years. And I saw this listing on Craigslist that was for like bondage modeling. Yeah. And I had never done bondage. I was pretty vanilla in my sex life. And I also had this absolutely ridiculous, I know now, notion that like porn performers are victims and like all of this like really toxic shit.
Yeah.
And so I decided to challenge myself because like if it really is so bad, then why do all the ones that I see like seem so happy?
Right.
Because they have a shitload of money and they get laid constantly. Right. That's all I want out of life.
Right.
Oh man, if only that were still. Oh,
I know.
That's an
oversimplification.
But no, so I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna give it a shot. It'll be, if nothing else, it'll be a good story. And whatever. And I did, and it was like I made more in an hour than I made in a day as a librarian, which I had to have a fucking master's degree to do.
Yeah.
The library, not the porn, obviously.
Yeah.
And also I felt like way more respected in that workplace than I did.
Well, you told me once, because people kept calling you like the hot librarian.
Yeah.
And you told me that you were like, I'd rather be a smart porn star than the hot anything. Because you're brilliant. You're one of the smartest human beings I know. I absolutely adore you for that. But yeah, like that shit, when you said that to me, it just made so much sense. It was very you. I was just like, yep, this is legit. I support her on this journey.
So what was your focus of study when you got your master's?
So my focus of study was youth services librarianship. It was a master's degree of library and information science, which is what the American Library Association requires to have the official title librarian. It's very, very weird, kind of esoteric shit. But yeah, so that was what I got my master's in. And
so to go into that field, you at least for a while, right? You wanted to be a librarian. It wasn't like an accidental thing. Like that was your focus, right?
Oh, hell yes. And I still, like, there are still days that I miss it. Like, I loved being a librarian. The thought process there was, okay, so I was just about to finish my first year in my role at the library, and I had some opportunities come up in Los Angeles. And I was like, okay, well, I thought maybe it would be cool to move to LA after a little bit longer and just see. But, like, the opportunities are here now. I'm not getting any younger. LA is where the porn industry lives. And if I can do pretty fucking okay in like Boston, Massachusetts, which is where I was living, I could probably do pretty well in LA. And it's not like doing porn, like the librarians of the world aren't gonna like form a cabal to come and like pound on my door and take away my master's degree. Like I could still fucking do that theoretically. But yeah, so I moved to LA to get married and do porn. One of those was an awesome idea. One of those was an idea.
In there.
You get it.
I do.
Yeah, and so that's I mean, I didn't stop being a librarian because I didn't like it. It's just this thing seemed like a really cool opportunity. And
well, it's one of those opportunities that first off, it's got a bit of a timestamp on it. You know what I mean? Like you have to do it while you're still like young and hot. Right. Because now I've passed. I can't do porn anymore. Like nobody wants to see this. I missed that chance.
Yeah,
I'm not even smart enough to be a librarian.
Just for some of us, those cards are never on the table.
Yes. But no.
So I got a quick question. Have you had the opportunity to play a librarian in one of your performances?
That's a really good question.
That is a good question, and startlingly not as much as I would like. I've had to pass up opportunities because I was already booked on other shit.
You are clearly the most qualified to play a librarian role. Like it's like typecasting almost, you know?
I know. I got to, once for Penthouse, but it wasn't like, I'm a librarian in the library. It's like, oh, I just got home from my job at the library, roommate.
That sucks.
Oh my God, you're doing what with your genitalia? Let me help you with my hands on my mouth.
Fuck, that seems like a massive missed opportunity.
Right. Well, and also like you could kind of like block the scene because you could like pick which books are going to be in the background, you know, while you're doing doggy style or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like so many opportunities that are wasted because they didn't pick you.
We're producing this. Warlord's going to produce your next big scene, and we're gonna.
I want it.
I will secure a library or at least break a door.
And I want like long dialogue scenes that go deep into like Dostoevsky or something like that. Like,
no, I want you to teach the Dewey Decimal System to someone.
Yes.
Oh my God. I have a Dewey Decimal tattoo on my back. It's hard to see in this outfit.
The Harry Potter one.
Yeah. But I finally started, like, I'm so late to the fucking game, like on everything ever. But I did finally start an OnlyFans. I didn't really shoot for a couple years there because I was really focused in the VR field. And I was sort of on the, I don't know.
Well, you've been taking on more of a producer's role than a performer's role lately, right?
Yeah.
Am I right in that?
More in the executive space, but I was the chief marketing officer of a VR headset company for like a hiccup for a few months. And then I don't know, I've done a lot of this stuff for the past couple of years. So I just sort of haven't been shooting. And now I had a separate non-adult VR company with my former business partner. We decided to just shut it down. And I was like, well, I have all this time on my hands. I guess I'll give this OnlyFans shit a shot. Holy shit, it's so awesome. It's so much fun. And it's more than just like I'm making porn again and it's lucrative. I realized when I finally embraced this site and like this service that I have been sort of tacitly trying to downplay and almost like indirectly apologize for my career in the adult industry in tech spaces, because our company that we were working on and we closed was non-adult. So I was like really worried that like there would be that sort of prejudice or that like something around that.
Right.
And it's like, actually, fuck that. No.
You built a career. You worked your ass off for this, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I fucking, like, we pioneered technology that did not previously exist.
Yeah.
Like, fuck all the way off. And it just feels really good to sort of embrace the Ela Darling that is that person and not trying to pretend like, oh yeah, we do have really amazing technology. You're going to undervalue it because you undervalue sex workers and our humanity. So let me just sort of like tone that one down a notch. Like, fuck all that.
See, and you and I actually talked about this the other night, because I notoriously worked construction for like a decade. And I kept getting the whole thing. It's like, oh, the trauma that these women are putting their bodies through. And I'm like, dude, my knees are not going to work in 10 years.
Right.
Like, fuck that. And I'm making way less than these people.
Right.
And I don't get to go to like Prague and shit.
Right.
Seriously, the last time I saw you, Carrick, was when I was in town for my high school reunion. Yeah. And I remember distinctly this.
Which I did not go to.
Well, you're a year ahead of me.
Like by a year. I still couldn't.
That's how it works.
I don't know how it works. I quit high school.
I had this conversation with one of the people I went to high school with, and he was talking about his job as like I think he drives trucks, and everything he was saying, I was like, oh, well, do you like it? And he was like, no, I fucking hate it. My boss is an asshole and never respects me. It's backbreaking work. I have like this condition with my feet right now because of the way the job works. And I know it sucks, but the money's good. And I was like, there are entire fucking organizations that exist that would rescue me or try to rescue me from my job if I talked about it the way you did. Like I'm not allowed to talk about my work that way.
Oh no, I have completely destroyed my body doing backbreaking labor for decades now.
Right.
Yeah, like I hurt right now. Like I'm in pain right now.
I'm not allowed to say that kind of shit because, and I've seen it firsthand, there are organizations that try to regulate the porn industry like to our deficit that have come into OSHA. So Cal OSHA has been trying to sort of...
I remember that because that was like a bill that they passed or some shit, right?
Yes, there was a whole proposition on the 2016 ballot that we defeated. It was the only bright light of my election year that year. But yeah, so there's a nonprofit organization. There's Cal OSHA that they're sort of like trying to go through to impose laws and restrictions on us. They fucking came into one of the Cal OSHA meetings to read tweets from performers who just had a shitty day and they were just bitching on Twitter, and they were literally reading through these innocuous complaints about their workday. But I say that because I work in this industry. To people who don't work in this industry, who are already inclined to see us as victims, it just really fueled an already nasty fire. And yeah, I went to these Cal OSHA meetings for years. It got to the point where it's just like, oh, it's you. Hey, Steve, how's the wife? Okay, I'm going to defend my right to have a career.
Yeah, right. God damn. Oh, that's such a double standard, because like nobody would come to a meeting about construction workers that had shitty days and read our fucking tweets and try and shut our sets down, you know what I mean? Or our job sites down. Like, it's so fucking dumb. What it is it's an overinflated sense of like morality that is completely uncalled for and biased. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous to me.
It is. It's absurd. And it sucked. But we had some good wins. I finally sort of stepped back from that whole political fight because...
Yeah. But you were pretty massively into it for a while.
Yeah, I was the president of an organization called APAC. It's Adult Performer Advocacy Committee. But when I stopped making my primary living as a performer, I didn't think it was ethical or right for me to be in like a position of that level representing the workforce. So I stepped back from it. But
I don't
know
if I totally agree with that. I'm not a performer, obviously, yet. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Right.
But I don't know. I think you're in a unique position to where you could really speak for some people that, may not know which avenues and things to go through to effectively like campaign for something like that?
It's something that I think I'm ready to be done with, but I also like I'm ready to be called to arms if there's something really serious and I'm needed.
I have no doubt. I know your character.
There are a lot of really fucking bright people in this industry, and
oh no, I wasn't insinuating that. I'm just saying that like you're exceptionally bright.
Yeah.
Why, thank you, darling.
Have you thought about what you'd like to do next?
I'm really enjoying working with VIRO. I started working with them about a year ago. I absolutely fucking love it there, and I think that the vision that they have for having sort of blended social spaces strictly for adults in VR is, I mean, I just think it's fucking fantastic. I have been
awesome.
in VR. Yeah, I've been in VR for 6.5 years. I've seen a lot of things grow. I've seen a lot of things fail. I've seen a lot of ideas that just didn't quite make it.
Well, kind of like any pioneer in any situation would. Like, you're one of the first to do this. There's no precedent for it. You're the ones writing the precedent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, the reason I love this company is, I mean, there's a few points here. They're incredibly ethical. They have all the right goals in mind. They are so fucking, like, just generally kind and respectful and prioritize, like, humans.
Yeah.
They want to make a space that is, I mean, it is unprecedented in this area, and they want to do it with the right sort of framework in mind that really prioritizes like human experience and not just like, hey, come fuck, everybody, let's fuck. Here's some titties, we're gonna fuck. I mean, here are some titties, yes, indeed. But also, here's an understanding of how to respect each other in this space. And here's also, let's fuck though. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for that. That all sounds great to me.
Yeah. And
so I'm also gross though.
All right. So in your personal opinion, what are the best things that you like about porn? Like the industry or whatever you want to call it is like, what do you really like best about it? And then conversely, what do you like least about it?
That's a very, very good question. Okay, what do I like best about it? I guess as a job, I like the freedom to sort of make my own schedule and work at my own pace. And
right. So I don't, and I do want to hear that, but what I mean specifically is porn itself, right? As an art form, right? What is the best thing about it? Because it's unique in the sense, right? Like it's unique in the sense that, in the type of like storytelling and the presentation and stuff that it does is, it's like, it's got like downfalls and it's also got like tremendous wins and things like that. You have a unique perspective being on the inside. So I don't mean necessarily like for you, particularly as a performer, although I do want to hear that. I just mean as an art form, right? Like what
in general. Okay.
Yeah. What do you think is really kind of like the sweet spot of what porn can be?
I think it gives people a creative outlet sometimes, and sometimes just a way to show like what makes you horny in a way that has the potential to really, and this might sound silly, but to really help people, because it's easy to think of people who consume porn or occupy porn spaces as being, whatever negative ideas you want to project.
No, I realized that when I was into certain things, like now I had a community that was also into those kinds of things. You know what I mean? Like I like leather and shit. Like that's no secret on this show. I've said that a million times, but yeah, like I met other people that were into that things like through like, sites like this or that or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So it has the potential to help people understand their own sexuality a little bit better in a safe way. So you can watch content that is like in line with something you think might be your jam, but you're not quite ready to actually explore it in real life. I like that it gives people who just don't have access to, sexual or romantic relationships, it gives them a way to sort of fulfill that like chemical need in their brain.
Yeah.
I like that it allows people, especially in the age of internet porn, which has its ups and downs, it allows people to sort of find, like you were saying, communities of people who understand some of the struggles that they might have experienced as they learn their own sexuality, and it just sort of, it offers this sort of safe learning space for people.
Yeah.
That is, I would say that's what I really love about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think are some of the downfalls?
Yeah,
of
what do you
porn
like
as a whole?
least?
And see, this is the part that's kind of tough, because this is the part that they're going to like read a transcript of at the next Cal OSHA meeting. If
Right.
you do, fuck you guys. You know me. Fuck
Right.
you.
You heard it from Warlord Radio and Ela Darling. Fuck you guys.
Right.
So yeah, there's just a lot of sort of really, really shitty elements in the way that porn is marketed, and in some of the, I guess if we're strictly speaking as an art form, the dichotomization of female identity and sexuality kind of sucks. Like, I shot my first teen lesbian experience at least 4 or 5 times, and I started doing porn when I was 23.
Yeah.
So do the math.
Mhm.
And then at like 26 or 27, I was called a MILF, which...
That's got to be rough on your psyche a little bit, actually.
Well, the thing
Like,
is,
you went
most
from
of the-
shooting teen scenes into like immediately MILF scenes. Like, that's crazy to me.
most of the much younger porn stars, the 18 to 22-year-old roughly
Yeah.
ish, are actual mothers of children, and most of the MILF age women are not. And it's like, that's
That just
strange.
kind of means you're over 26, right? Or some shit like that.
Basically, and that math doesn't even fucking make sense.
No, it
Let
doesn't.
me tell you why. Because in porn, we cannot and do not sexualize anyone under the age of 18. Anyone who's in school is in boarding school or like college, but it's like, okay,
Right.
we're college.
I think that's actually why the term co-ed is even a thing. I think
Yeah.
it's just like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
she's over 18. I fucking swear to God, man.
Yeah, precisely. And so, based on that rule, if someone has a child, we cannot even imply that they had sex before they were 18, because that therefore sexualizes them before they were 18. Therefore,
Okay.
if I am talking about like, oh my God, I fucked my best friend's mom, I must be at least 18, probably the same age as my friend. His mom had to be at least 18 when she...
Right. So at least 36, right?
At least roughly 36. So it doesn't even fucking make sense to call a 27-year-old a MILF by our own fucking playbook. It's
I
weird.
think you just put in way more thought into that than any of them have ever done. So.
Oh, certainly. Oh, certainly. I'm just fucking saying. And also, there's a lot around that that's like kind of weird and
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
yeah. And then also like it's like there's a lot of really shitty racism.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's
Like-
true with any industry, I think.
Yeah, and there's like this sort of like excuse that it's like, oh, it's a fetish, and it's like, but it's still
Okay.
racist. So you acknowledge it is racist. It's
But
just
you're demeaning
cool
the
with making
fuck out of
fun.
somebody here. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and like people, I've heard plenty of stories of people shooting like just a regular ass scene, and then it comes out, and like we don't know what things are going to be called most of the time.
Right. Yeah, they don't run it by you. So.
Yeah, and then they title it something really fucking offensive and off-brand for that performer, and it's like, well, fuck me, I guess I got paid a day rate, and that's that.
I will
have no
say
say.
that, like, I would love to be the guy, like, on a committee in charge of naming porn. And, like, this is no longer, like, co-ed cum slut 6. This is now, like, Pride and Prejudice with titties. Or, like, I don't know what the fuck I'd call it. But, yeah.
I feel like voice acting for porn is where it's at. I feel like that's really...
I want to do that.
Yeah.
Voice acting for porn. That would be amazing. I'd be so good at that shit. I've got a sexy voice.
I'm keeping you in mind. I might have need.
There you go.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit. Well, you heard it here.
That's
I
right.
might start working in porn. I said I might stop working in porn. That's a bit Freudian, isn't it?
Yeah, Freudian.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans. My kid needs braces.
Yeah. We'll put the link at the bottom of the episode. What do you think is like a great example of like what the best of what porn can be? Like, what do you think is, like as a musician, like you might list like your favorite bands, or these are the total like influencers, right? So what would be something that would be the equivalent in your industry?
I mean, I can't really give you a who's who of porn, because I mean there's some obvious top tier production companies, but they're pretty much doing fine on their own.
Yeah.
I would say the ones that I really love are
just you.
So I worked with this company called Juicy Pink Box
Mhm.
when I was sort of brand new. It was lesbian porn directed by like fashion lawyer lesbian who decided to make porn. So all of the content was super, just really, really cinematic, really well produced, like some of the best produced porn I've ever been in.
That makes a huge difference. It really does. You know what I mean? Like anybody can shoot themselves fucking on like a Snapchat filter or some shit like that, but like when it's actually produced, when it's a set and it looks professional, like you can charge for that. You can monetize that.
So yeah, I love Juicy Pink Box, and Jinsey Lumpkin is the head of that, or was the head of that. She doesn't produce porn anymore, but she became my fairy porn mother, and really, really was an amazing mentor for me. When I was still, I'm like, my camera is on my coffee table, and I'm just jiggling it when I.
Yeah, we see a little bit of bounce, but that's all right. It makes it like a music video, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally on brand for us.
Yeah. We'll add a little fisheye, so it looks like a rap video or something.
My favorite director and one of my very best friends, Anna Lee, makes the best VR porn in my opinion, because she's innovative and she tackles new ideas because she understands the space, and what she makes is fucking beautiful.
Nice.
I got to be directed by her and it wasn't even like necessarily like triple. I mean, like I didn't get undressed for it. But I got to shoot some VR content with her last year, and it's just everything about the product, like the final product, the process, the way that she engages with her performers, just all of it is so fucking great. Like, she sat me down before I shot my scenes, and she said, okay, Ella, you're Ella. We're not going to call you anything about Ella, but I want you to tap in to the girl underneath Ella. And I want you to be that girl for me and just do whatever feels natural and sexy for you as an individual. And if that means you're going to be fisting yourself, cool. If that means you're not even going to get naked and you're just going to feel really beautiful and sexy, also cool. But that's what I want. I want authenticity. And I want gender neutral language, because we want to appeal to like our entire audience and not limit ourselves. And it was like, fuck yes. So just be me. And I was
well, authenticity in any art form, period, is going to go way further than anything else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I write a song tomorrow and it's like I'm writing a song like specifically like get chicks and get drunk and get rich and all that bullshit, that's not going to go as far as like if I actually tell you like how I'm feeling, what I'm feeling at the time, and like that's what people want to fucking hear.
I don't know, man. I see a lot of stadiums getting filled by a lot of inauthentic shit.
Well, I mean, all right, well, shoot my whole fucking point to the ground, asshole.
I'm just saying, like, I don't, like, see just a whole lot of authenticity out of pop stars.
I believe that
call me crazy.
Authenticity in art stands the test of time. This may be the flavor of the month, but authenticity in art will ensure lasting results.
I'm just saying, I got authenticity for days, and that pays nothing.
No, authenticity for us pays very little.
Hey, what's your Venmo?
What?
I got you.
All right. Well, we had a technical hiccup, and I don't know what the fuck we were talking about. So we're going to start on a completely new topic. What are some of the best scenes or best performers that you've worked with? So, is there anybody that you would like to plug yourself, like you as Ela Darling?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sin Sage is an awesome, wonderful performer. She's primarily done lesbian porn, but she does do some boy-girl stuff with her husband, on her OnlyFans at least. She's like one of my legit best friends. Like, yeah. She is so fucking solid. Nina Hartley. Oh my God. Nina Hartley if you're not familiar with her, she is old school. She was in like Boogie Nights.
Yeah. She's been around. Yeah.
Yeah,
we both know who Nina Hartley is. Look at us.
She's wonderful. She's wonderful. She does so much for the community. She does so much for me. Like, I just moved to Austin in the last couple of months, and she and her partner sort of just called me just to check in and see how I'm doing, because I was having a pretty fucking rough summer. I'm moving and stuff, and they were like, oh, do you need help moving? And I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to bother you. And they were like, bother us. And they fucking came over for a whole ass day with like professional moving shit, like huge boxes, tape, everything. They were like, darling, I want you to sit down, I want you to just be
Chill
comfortable. They packed my entire fucking closet, all of my artwork. They packed my, like, most of the shit that I needed to move just because they were concerned about me and they wanted to make sure that I was going to be okay. They've checked in. They're wonderful. She and her partner, Nina especially, has been just such a really special person in my life for a very long time. And I just love her so much.
Well, I'm gonna take it down kind of personally for just a second. Like I said, Ella and I have been friends since she was a teenager. So we were both teenagers.
Right.
And that last summer was particularly rough on you. But like, she's the kind of person that, like, we get drunk and call each other real late and I'm like, hey, are you fucking okay?
Yeah.
Like,
hey, pardon me, let me count the ways why I fucking love you. Shut the fuck up.
Happened.
You're awesome. Yeah.
It's very aggressive when you're telling me that you love me. Like, it's very aggressive. And I'm the same way back. I just adore the shit out of you. So, okay. So we plugged some, like, really cool people. Like, name some, like, I want to hear 2 jobs that you loved and 2 jobs that you fucking hated.
There you go.
In porn or outside of porn?
Both. The ones that you hated, I would really love for that to be inside porn, because I really want to hear that.
Yeah. Okay, so I've loved most. I've loved some of the work that I've done in porn. I've been like, okay, that's my day at work, whatever. Yeah. For most of it,
it's just like any other day at work. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So if we're just gonna focus on the porn aspect, what's a shitty day? Oh, a shitty day I had on set was so I only did, like, we call it boy girl porn, which is actually pretty infantilizing for the work that we're doing, but that's the terminology that is commonly used. So I only did it for like a couple of years. But the last day I remember, what it comes down to is agents are fucking toxic for the most part. So I had told
them. We're in bands. Like, it's the same over here. Like, yeah.
Yeah, you get it.
They're
so
fucking
I told
awful
them,
people.
These fucking suck shit. Yeah. There's maybe 2 agents in porn who I have any respect for. But, and they were not mine. I told them, like, my rates for things, and I assumed they would stick to that. So they sent me to a set to do just a blowjob scene, but I had to get tested for it, which you don't really, like, if you're the one just sucking dick and you're not sharing your own
bodily fluid, yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's not typical, but it was this time, which was strange. So that was already like $155 that I had to pay.
So they make you, the performer, pay for those?
We pay for our own testing, yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's a downside of porn. That sucks shit.
No, because in construction, they paid for every fucking test I did. Otherwise, they knew I wasn't going to show up for work. Right. That's fucked up.
There was that, and then it was like a 10-hour fucking day on set. Like, shit was running behind. They were leisurely. It was so much more involved than, like, just hey, we're just gonna do like a gonzo blowjob scene, which is just sort of POV style, like, point of view. This was like all scripted and shit. It was so much more involved. And then it turned out that the day rate was already $150 less than my actual rate that I told my agent to accept. So I basically, at the end of the day,
so you're working for under scale, essentially.
I made like $20 an hour to suck a stranger's dick and be called a MILF and feel real shitty about it.
What the fuck?
I don't feel shitty about doing porn. It was just like,
no, that scene though, like, that's fucking jacked up.
Yeah.
That's like, and I'll make it equivalent. Like, as a performer, because I do, you know me, I do acting, I do all kinds of shit. And if I have a certain scale and then I'm paid under scale and then I'm working for fucking amateurs, like, I'm pissed off at the end of that day.
It sucked. It was awful. And, like, I never felt bad about the work that I did. And it wasn't the work that made me feel bad. It was just like, what the fuck was that? Like, why the fuck would my agent even accept that at all? Yeah. And especially given that there were extra costs incurred, given the nature of the scene, it didn't typically require, like, why the fuck? Oh, it's because they suck. And they just don't give a shit.
So did you promptly fire your agent?
Yeah. I actually quit doing boy girl porn after that.
Okay.
It just sucked.
I would have too. Yeah, no, that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah. And it's not, like, I would, if we weren't in a fucking plague, I'd probably, oh man, I would use the fuck out of, I'd be like, hey, you want to hang out on Tinder, go here, get tested, share 2 forms of ID with me. I'll suck your dick if I can film it and sell it. And you sign a release.
Hey, man. Like, why not? You can capitalize on this, but now we have a plague going on.
Yeah.
So you can blame COVID for not getting a blowjob from Ella Darling.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Wuhan.
Right?
So there was that one. What's another shitty one? It was this really big, amazing production, but the person who was like actually in charge, not the director was fucking amazing. The crew, amazing. The performers, amazing. Everything about it was amazing. Even the person who financed it was amazing. It was just the person who he like worked with to form she was all the fuck over there. I guess
well, it would have been like, I guess it would have been the executive producer in that.
The executive producer. Yeah. She like, the last day of filming, people weren't even sure if they were going to get paid.
Fuck that.
She tried to solicit me for prostitution while I was married, and I didn't even do boy-girl porn. So it's like I guess I could get it because I'm a sex worker if I even fucked dudes, but I don't. So like extra out of pocket. And then she threatened to sue me for posting a picture on social media.
Are you fucking serious? You're the performer. Like, what the fuck? That's such a lack of respect.
I know. And it's like, you solicited me. Like, that is literally a solicitation. You want to fucking come at me for taking... And it was a selfie? Okay.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
She's fucking insane. But there was a lot of solidarity on set. We did get paid. Everything was fine. It never got released, which sucks.
No, it just sounds like you had a fucking shitty fucking EP. Like, yeah.
Yeah, everything else was awesome, though. Like, I got a free trip to New York. I got to hang out with my friends. It was fun. It was, like, it wasn't traumatizing. It was just like, what the fuck are you doing? And why are you so unprofessional? Why do people who think porn is the easiest thing in the world come into it and make us their fucking like learning experience? Like,
it is not easy. It is. I can tell you that just from the little bit that I've done, which is not fucking great, but I had bills to pay. Don't judge me.
I'm judging you. You fucking whore. You dirty.
I know,
slut.
right? I'm fucking gross. I know that about myself. I also am completely unapologetic about that aspect of my personality. Right?
Oh, you are who you are. But no, like all of the experience, like the negative experiences were like I'm not traumatized for life. It's just like, damn.
It was like, that was a really shitty project I worked on, like anybody else. Like, I've been in bands where I was like, why the fuck did I do that? Right. Like, it was not worth it at all. Like,
yeah. It's just, it was a shitty job. Yeah. And it's very important for me, for the reasons I've outlined, to not make it seem like I don't feel victimized by it. I think
it's a job. You had a shitty day at work.
Yeah. And there are certainly some really extra shitty situations, as with any job, but I've had mostly positive ones.
Like, I have been victimized by fucking construction contractors. Like, fuck that shit.
Right?
They're like, yeah, just climb out on that 5-story roof with no fucking protection whatsoever and grab that blue wire that's probably not hot. Yeah. If you want to fucking get this paycheck, you're going to go do that.
Oh, Lord. That fucking sucks. That breaks my heart for you, huh?
So
I'm not there anymore. I'm doing this now.
Right. So let's change gears. What type of music do you like to listen to?
Oh, I was afraid of this question.
It's going to happen on this show. Yeah.
That's why I was really intimidated to come on your show, because, I'm not cool. There was a time in my life where I was cool and I listened to cool music.
Do we look cool?
Neither of us look cool.
Yes, you do. You look actually quite cool.
We look like we guard a junkyard on the weekends.
Yeah, we're not far from the truth.
Yeah, pretty much,
but it doesn't matter, cool or uncool. Just like, what have you been jamming lately?
Mostly I don't know, oldies, 50s and 60s, and then some instrumental versions of music that I pop music that I like. Ironically, I guess. I also have.
It's funny when the line between ironic and I actually like this gets blurred.
Right?
Oh yeah, I said ironic, knowing full well that it is my shit. I'm not ready to publicly admit it, and I need you to acknowledge that journey with me. I have a Ho playlist that is we got some fucking wet ass pussy, we got some Lizzo, we've got some Salt and Peppa.
I did security because as everybody on this show knows, I've been a bouncer for 15 fucking years. And I did security for drag shows because I was the only guy in Denton that wasn't homophobic and would beat the shit out of somebody for that. And so I actually love Lizzo. I fucking really do. Like, unironically and unadulteratedly love Lizzo. That bitch can sing.
Me too. No, she's like badass. She's like, oh God, she's just, she speaks to the soul of women. At least cool.
No, like I have also been pissed off by men and can totally relate.
Yep. So yeah, I guess that when I don't really code much anymore, but when I was coding, or when I'm like editing, well, not so much I don't know, when I'm working and I can't have something with lyrics, I go for the like instrumental pop music that, I mean, it's orchestral, not just like
Can I, because
karaoke.
Krishna's throwing a fucking fit over here, can I make a recommendation to you?
Mm-hmm.
Krishna Puri, Across the Horizon, it's instrumental, like kind of, it's more metal-ish, but it's instrumental, and I'm on it, and I do voiceovers and shit.
He does.
So yeah, you should check out his album.
Tell me where to buy it.
Do what? Where do you buy it? Bandcamp.
Okay. All right.
I'll send you the link.
Yeah, he'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, into it.
But yeah, that was one of the first. I got voiceover work off doing voiceover for his album.
That's awesome.
Like, other people came to me and were like, "That shit sounded awesome."
And it does.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's instrumental and it's very, very good. Krishna's an incredibly accomplished guitar player.
It's true.
And a total prick.
It's true.
I don't know. It seems like a pretty stand up person to me. So
It's an act. We just have dirt on him. That's why he works for the show.
I live across the hallway from this guy. I've heard shit.
Right.
Nice. Yeah, I'll fucking buy your album, Krishna.
Yeah, right on. Well, okay. Well, here's another question. Like you said, you're a big reader, or you were a big reader. Like, so what books are you into right now?
Right.
Man, y'all are fucking hitting like.
No, we talked about porn in the first half. Now we're
now we're getting down to business.
No, I know. It's
the
just
important stuff. What are you listening to? What are you reading? You know, movies are next.
Who is Ela Darling, really?
Oh, okay. Okay, just jumping back real quick. I don't really listen to a lot of music. I mostly listen to podcasts, and mostly they are made by the McElroy family.
The McElroy brothers are a gift to humanity. My brother and me is amazing. The Adventure Zone is fucking amazing. What's the one that Travis does with his wife?
Schmanners.
Schmanners is fucking great. There's the one
Sawbones.
about the weird medical. Yeah, Sawbones. Sawbones.
Yeah.
They basically go back and talk about like ancient medical techniques and how fucked off they were.
Right. Oh,
and it's so good. It's so fucking good.
I'll have to check it out.
So yeah, that's mostly what I've been listening to for the past couple of years.
I do more podcasts than music myself, actually, if I'm going to be totally honest.
Oh God, that makes me feel so much better. In terms of books, I read a lot of YA fiction, like a lot to the point where I couldn't even tell you the titles or the authors. I'd have to pull up on my Kindle app, because before my life sort of got turned upside down, and I'm not even talking COVID, just like probably end of July, mid-August, like just shit started falling apart everywhere. I would read a book like every 2 or 3 days, and it's YA lit, so it's very accessible, and it's very, it's not incredibly challenging literature, but it's very good literature. It's made for people who are open-minded and interested in sort of learning and exploring new narratives, because that's what young adults are. But it's also just very good. So yeah, I would read like 2 or 3 books a week, and I just couldn't fucking keep up. It was a fix.
Yeah.
I haven't been reading quite as much lately, but I did just finish a biography, and this is so not my style, but a biography on Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. I don't give a fuck about the royals. They're a bunch of like unemployed
inbred
assholes. Yeah.
My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, that too. But it just, I don't know. I put a hold on it, and it was available, and I didn't have any other books in my holds on my like online library. So I read it, and it was okay. It was interesting. It wasn't like life-changing.
I feel bad for Prince Harry because he used to be a very handsome man, and then somewhere along the way, that guy's hairline receded like mine, like it was running away from my fucking face.
Okay, so as a book fan, I have an important question for you. How do you feel about actual books versus like a Kindle or a Nook or whatever it is?
Or is there any difference?
I feel like, okay, physical books, ebooks, audiobooks, if you're reading, you're reading. If you're exposing yourself to new narratives, new ideas, new stories, that's awesome. And fuck yeah, do it. I am very much an ebook person because back in high school, Kirk, I don't know if you remember this, I would have like 4 or 5 different books in my bag at any given time. Because I wasn't sure, like, what if I feel like reading fiction? What if I feel like, what if I'm in a nonfiction mood? What if I
remember this is the weirdest memory, but I remember like specifically, like we had this little, like when we were in high school, we had this like little hallway where all the weirdos hung out, and we were weirdos. And so we go over into this hallway and whoa, cutting that shit out. Ella just sat in the corner and fucking read books. Like all the fucking time. And like you even passed books along to me that I read. Like you introduced me to the Orson Scott Cards, like the Ender's Game and shit.
Really?
Yeah. Like because I read mostly autobiographies. That's what I do. I read a lot of nonfiction. I don't read a whole ton of fiction. But Orson Scott Card was that was the one that you introduced me to. And then I read like every fucking book in that series after that. Yeah. You turned me on to that. You also turned me on to there was like was it the Wheel of Time, the Robert Jordan series?
I don't remember.
It's like fantasy novels.
Yeah, I think I did pass on Wheel of Time.
Okay.
I think.
I don't remember, but I remember like because I had like everybody did, we all had a fucking crush on you, and so like when you handed me books, I read the fucking books, so I had something to talk to you about. It was whack, dude. It was the lamest high school shit you've ever heard in your life.
It was the best. Oh, but well, thank you for that compliment. That was incredibly heartwarming and flattering. But yeah, so with ebooks, if I'm out somewhere and I want to read something, I'm usually reading 1 or 2 things that are usually like something nonfiction and something fiction that don't overlap, or else I'll mix them up. But also, I mostly read in bed when I wake up before I put in my contact lenses. I don't really wear my glasses because it's not comfortable. But my vision is so bad that even like on my phone, if I'm reading, I mean, it's an S9 Plus, so it's bulky, but like I can, if I'm holding it the way I hold it, I can read the first part of the sentence or the last part of the sentence. So I have to do this sort of like typewriter motion with my hand because I can't see the end of the line because my vision is fucking terrible. So yeah, I love ebooks for that reason. Yeah, I don't know. Some people are really, I don't know, they think this is like a great hill to die on, and it's like accessibility, my bud. People are reading. That's what counts.
That's kind of what I feel about it. Like, I don't care how you're taking in this information. Like, even audiobooks. I love audiobooks. Because, like, I drive a lot, and I'm running around. Like, so, like, I'll pop in an audiobook and listen to that for a couple of days. You know what I mean? But as long as I'm being exposed to new ideas and, like you said, new narratives and things like that, then, like, I'm doing okay.
Yeah, that's my thought, too. So
right on.
What about movies? What aside from
we're a big movie podcast. We talk about movies here a lot. Have you watched anything? You don't really do movies.
I don't watch movies. God, see, fuck. I was nervous because it's like, oh shit, I don't really listen to music and I don't really listen to death metal except like when it's my friends, and then it's still like I don't know. We don't need you.
This is not a metal podcast. Just E and I are metalheads.
But I don't watch movies. I have ADD, and I have like a compulsive nature when it comes to work. So if I feel like I'm not doing something constructive, I get really like stressed out. And so I need to find, and depressed and just weird and just like anxious. So
same. Thanks for coming on my podcast.
So if I'm watching like a TV show, they're short and I can like pause it and like read my phone. And it's like, they only expect 30 or so minutes of your attention, and so they structure it in such a way. But with film, it could take me. I watched the Borat movie. I watched the new Borat movie a couple weeks ago.
I also did that. I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Me too. And it's what, like 2.5 hours long?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it took me like 4 to get through it because I just keep pausing. I can't keep spending my attention on this. I need to check work. I need to check Slack. I need to check Discord. I need to make sure that I'm not lapsing on anything and that nobody's like, where the fuck is Ella? Hey, it's a job.
It's Saturday. Well, no, it's not a job. It's a career.
Yeah.
There's the difference between the job is like, when do I get off? And the career is like, there's not enough hours of the day.
Fucking yes. Exactly. And furthermore, like nobody at the job, like my day job for VIRO, nobody there is going to ever say that or be like, where the fuck are you? Like, they are not putting the pressure on me. I just I'm so used to putting so much pressure on myself to like go, do, and like burn myself out that I don't know, something about movies. I can't get through them as easily as I would like unless it's like the most fucking basic ass shit that is like, I don't know, like Hallmark Christmas movies that I watch.
Love Actually.
Shit like that. I mean,
it's
Love Actually.
It's a great movie, actually.
Pretty well done. But no, like, unless it's something super vapid, and I'm not saying vapid as an insult because it's great. I mean, it's cinema and it's fine. I'm not being judgmental. It's just that kind of thing.
You can be judgmental. It's okay.
Yeah, this is Warlord Radio. We are the home of hot takes.
Yeah,
okay, so the one Christmas movie that exists that is just like, it exists in so many dimensions that it is still the same movie with the same plot, with the same general idea, but like different elements peppered in to create thousands of them. Yeah. I kind of dig that shit around Christmas. I'll just like chill out with my mom and like watch some dumb shit and like do all my things on my phone because it doesn't demand my attention the way that like an actual like really well made cinematic feature would.
Right. So you can take something a little more casually.
Yeah, this is a very, very long form way of saying I don't really watch movies and I feel like I should, but I still don't.
You don't have to. We ain't nobody. Like, shit.
For shame.
For shame. Right? You don't know every horror movie that we've reviewed in the last 5 years. I'm gonna ring the bell. Shame. Shame.
I see. I get that reference because I do watch TV.
There you go. Yeah. So what TV shows are you currently into? Something that maybe doesn't demand your attention so much.
Right. I just finished Schitt's Creek, which I actually tried watching like several months ago and was just not into.
I haven't watched it. I've heard good things.
It's good. Like the first couple episodes, I was like, fuck this. And then everybody, like all the people whose taste I trust was like, no, do it though. And I did. It was fucking great. Nice. Yeah. What We Do in the Shadows is...
That's my favorite television show on the planet right now. But you also know I have like I have a goth thing. So.
What?
Yeah, right?
Hot take.
Outrageous.
Yeah, Warlord exclusive.
Yeah, I just rewatched that one again. It's just fucking timeless. It's every episode. It's just so packed with like good.
Every episode is hilarious. The characters, the cast is so good.
I think probably one of my favorite episodes was the orgy episode where they're trying to put on an orgy.
I'll blow a load right through that. What kind of goat sorcery is this? No, the episode where they get kidnapped by the Coven of Witches.
Right.
I found that very relatable.
Right.
Yeah. Jackie Daytona when Lazo.
Oh my God, when he was running the girls' volleyball league and shit.
Yeah, he's like hometown hero.
And he had the singing bass and shit.
God damn.
That show's so good.
Mark Hamill was in that episode. So yeah, that one. And then also Letterkenny is another one that I just...
Yeah, Letterkenny's amazing.
Great.
Yeah, Letterkenny is so rapid fire with the jokes. And it and the dialect and everything about that show I actually think is kind of like almost underrated. Because you watch it and you're like, this is a Maxim episode or a Maxim magazine in television form. And then you actually start to watch it. You start to realize that the jokes are really well constructed. The characters are really well fleshed out. And then that dialogue is just so on point all the time. I've been told that I am a mixture between Stewart and Wayne.
Right.
Yeah, I could see it.
I know, right? I think it was meant as an insult, but I decided to.
Fuck it, whatever.
I'm a bit of a skid.
Right.
I'll say, and I'm also a bit of a hick. So there we go.
I love it. But yeah, so that's, I mean, I watched that series straight through, like, binged it, just started fresh. It's there. The things that really speak to me, whether it's TV or podcasts or what have you, are the ones where, like, I can engage with the entire series of content and then just be like, cool, back to square one. Let's Momo again. Let's do it again.
Well, that's kind of the same thing with, like, the McElroys, like you were talking about, like the Adventure Zone, which is one of my favorite shows because, like, again, big shocker, I'm a giant fucking Dungeons and Dragons nerd.
What?
I know, right? Crazy, right? No, like, I have listened to, like, they had 3 like years of a campaign going that I have listened to like 4 fucking times because it's these 3 dudes teaching their dad how to play Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, and it's fucking hilarious. Oh man, it's so good.
It's called the Adventure Zone. I'm guessing you're talking about Balance.
Balance, and then when they moved on to the newer season where they did the what was it called, the Pine Watch or
Amnesty.
Amnesty, thank you.
Yeah, they just put out this is very narrow casting, but they just put out an episode last week that's just a one-off. It's a live show where they do Amnesty. Usually they do a different campaign. Yeah. It's so fucking good. It's Halloween themed. I was actually re-listening to it right before we started here. That's exactly what I was talking about when I'm talking about, like, my brother and me, my bim bam.
The bim bam, yeah. Which is a fucking great show as well.
Yeah, that's like, I just listen to it straight through and then I go back and start fresh because they're very funny people. They're very kind people. They're very lovely people.
They are very lovely people, it seems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It's wholesome content, but, like, if that wholesome content, like, drank beer and cussed.
Still wholesome.
They're very, 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 very sweet and very, 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 very nice.
Yes. I believe the McElroy brothers are a gift to, like, humanity right now, especially right now. Jesus.
And yeah, so I guess I'll watch some TV episodes when I'm, like, eating dinner and a little bit after. I give myself time to sort of, like, graze on food and just, like, really, like, be in the moment to, like, feed myself because that's important for bodies. You know, that's how.
If you're bipolar or something like I am, you just forget to eat sometimes. Right?
Yeah. I've established sort of just a ritual every night so that I don't forget to eat. Because sometimes when your brain is a real asshole, that happens.
I mean, do you want to talk about that at all? We don't have to, but we can. Because you and I, we spend a lot of time talking about that kind of stuff. Like, I've got some mental disorders that I've brought up again on this show. Like, what? Where's your outrage on that? Like, no, fuck you.
At this point, we're just rolling with it.
It's just, I think everybody's got something. And, like, I kind of think it's important to find what gets you through your day.
Yes. Okay. So I don't want to get too into the weeds about, like, the actual, like, the specifics that I deal with. Cause, like, my mom's going to listen to this, and Mom, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. It's good.
I apologize. Is she really going to listen to my part? Like, because your mom knows who I am too. I don't know if I want her listening to this show. I'm a bad person.
I feel like it's too late.
I think
she's gonna. She listens to all the podcasts I do. And Mom, I love you. I'm so good. It's fine. Right. But yeah, I mean, like anyone else, we all have our shit that we sort of deal with and struggle with. And so for me, it's really just setting patterns and setting, I mean, I say rituals. I don't mean like drawing a circle in sand on the floor, though. I mean, why not?
There's nothing wrong with that too.
No, that's cool.
I do that.
Right.
But yeah, just establishing, like, okay, this is the time of day. Structure, yeah. I have structured, like, okay, I'm going to sit down, not work, not think about anything else, just fucking
veg for a minute.
Yeah, and give myself, even if I've technically, like, okay, I'm done with dinner, I could technically just stop watching and just go back to work. No, I'm giving myself this time. This is the time I've set aside for myself to do this thing and be fine with that. And also be fine with when I miss the mark on shit. Like, I could carry you into my bathroom, but last night I was so intent that, like, okay, tomorrow morning I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna take a nice, awesome bubble bath. I put fucking Post-its on my mirror in the bathroom that were like,
take a fucking bath.
Yeah, morning bath, let's do it. Fucking do it. Just do it. Let's do it, baby. Just, like, encourage. And nah.
I have a hard time with that because, like, and Craig can attest to this as he has been working with me for several years now. I either throw myself completely into something and obsessively, or I like disappear and don't talk to anybody for days on end. And it's very frustrating, I would imagine.
Yeah, I do both of those things at the same time.
That sounds even worse than what the fuck I'm doing.
I loved I love living in Texas again. I love living in Austin. I love being close to my family and all of that. I do really miss being able to see the few friends that I still was able to see in like the dark times. My friend Sovereign Sire, another amazing performer. Fucking check her out. She's a stand-up comedian. She's a writer. She has a master's degree like I do. She's my fucking, she's amazing.
Hell yeah.
We would hang out and I'd be like, I feel really weird and like kind of dizzy. I don't know what's wrong with me. She's like, you need to eat something. I was like, yeah, I don't know. It's just really, what could it be? She's like, yeah, you need to eat. You need to eat some food. We're going to go get some breakfast burritos. And I'd be like, yeah, I'd get the breakfast burrito and be like, wow, I feel a lot better. She's like, yeah,
we have a guy that's been on this show many, many times, Joe Scalagi, or AKA Joe Provolone, drummer for Lament Configuration.
Who?
Every time I see that fucking guy, the first thing he asks me is like, "Did you eat?"
Right.
And if I lie, he knows, and he forces me to eat food because I'm not okay.
That's good friendmanship. That is very good friendmanship.
These good folks.
Right.
Okay, so there was something that you wanted to talk about before we wrap everything up here. Like, let's go for it.
Yeah, you wanted to give a shout out.
Yes. So there is a performer that I work with. I mentioned earlier that Jinsey from Juicy Pink Box was my fairy porn mother. Mm-hmm. There is a virtual performer named Vex Ruby who is part of VIRO Playspace, part of a team, but also just a very sweet friend of mine whom I really adore. And I am her fairy porn mother, which gives me limitless joy.
So now you're the mentor.
Right? Yeah.
Look at you go.
But she's just like, she's fun, she's silly, she's like sexy, and she's wonderful, just caring and lovely and kinky and great. But she's also, I mean, she's fully motion tracked in like a AAA motion capture studio, like for video games, her face and everything. And she broadcasts on Chatterbait, and it's all like in real time. And you can like, when you tip her, it like buzzes her sex toys on her.
Yeah, Chatterbait's fun like that.
Yeah, and then also there's a thing where if you're watching her stream, you can sign in through VIRO Playspace, and it will buzz your toys also, which is unconventional.
Right.
And awesome.
That's interesting, though. That makes it like a fully interactive experience.
That's it. Yeah, it totally is. And like, she's wonderful. She's amazing. She is one of the bright parts of my day, of my work day. And she's just fucking cool as hell. So if you're into anime, if you're into waifu stuff, she's definitely up your alley. But even if you're not, like, she's just a badass.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so, and you know what? Like, on our Discord, she's like a hug. She's like a person that is a hug. And she's amazing. So that's sort of the third arm of VIRO Places. We've got the dream experiences, we've got the social spaces that we're gonna launch soon, and then we've got our fucking live virtual cam girl, who's, as far as I know, the most technologically advanced virtual performer.
It's really interesting that, because you've been on the forefront of this for a long time, right? Like,
I've done some shit, yeah. I was the world's first VR cam girl. I was one of the first, not the first, but one of the first VR porn creators and performers. We made one of the first porn dating apps for VR.
What is a porn
I would call you
app?
out. Okay, so basically we used a kind of really cheap volumetric capture system where I would set up, it was actually a Microsoft Kinect, and I would set it up and I would input into a program like, okay, here's the capture space on the X, Y, and Z axes. And so then I would set up the performer in that space. It would only capture whatever was in that physical space.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything else would be removed. So I would capture performers photorealistically and place them into digitally rendered environments. And it was really fucking cool. You could like lean your head left and right because you could, you know, you could see angles.
Yeah.
And then we used that to make an app where like I shot really short bits of volumetric video where it would be, I'm in a cafe on a rainy day. You're sitting across from me. I introduce myself. You have 3 options to choose from of how to respond.
Oh,
and
shit.
Then whatever you say, I will respond to you based on a hidden point value system. So if you say something too forward, too risque, too early in the conversation when you haven't earned the rapport points, I'm fucking out of here. Like,
all right, forgive me for oversimplifying this, but are you telling me that there's VR choose your own adventure porn?
Yeah, I mean, there was.
I no longer need to date actual people. Like, I'm done now. I'm doing this for the rest of my life.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Detroit Become Human, but like more sexy and less revolution.
It was the precursor to our live VR broadcasting system, which was the first. We licensed it out to a company, to a cam company.
I don't even know if I can keep doing Warlord after I found this out. Right. I don't need anything breaking else.
Up the podcast, Ella.
It's no longer extant. I guess it is extant, but it's not accessible unless you have a very obscure development kit for Oculus. But it was cool, and also like if your headset gaze moved here, I would fucking call you out. I'd be like, "Excuse me."
I fucking love that. That could actually teach people how to date properly.
Yes, it was sort of a behavioral learning situation masquerading as just like fun porn. But that was sort of the precursor to the live broadcasting, which we did. And I'm going to
give you all my money. What's your Venmo? I want to fucking make this happen. Oh.
And that led into all, I've done a bunch of, I feel like I'm burying the lead with that because I probably should have said that when you asked me about my work. It's so, I don't know. I don't think about it.
There's a lot to it. No, like what I've always been impressed by you with is that like you were always looking for like what's the next innovation, what's the next, like how can we make this more? Like, how do we take it from where it was to the next level? And you've always been driven and motivated like that. It's been really cool to watch. Like I said, I've known you for fucking years. I've watched your entire career unfold, and I've been like proud because I'm like, I didn't even know you could jerk off like this. Like, it's a heightened sense of like, yeah, it's fucking awful of me to say that, but yeah, no, it's been really nice like watching you unfold, and I'm interested to see like where you guys are gonna take it. So we're gonna wrap it up here, but like, let's plug your companies, let's plug everything that you do, and then like we'll go from there.
Yes. Okay. VIRO Playspace is VIRO.club.
Okay.
You can find everything there. Vex Ruby, the badass, wonderful cam girl. She's vexruby.com, I think, but you can find her through VIRO.club. She's also on Chatterbait. She's everywhere. You can find my OnlyFans at onlyfans.com/Ela Darling, or just eladarling.com. That's Ella with 1 L. And if you join my OnlyFans and you message me the word Warlord, I will send you a special exclusive photo set.
There you go. Thank you. That's cross promotion right there. That's how you do it.
That's right.
Yeah. I've been talking you up to some of my subscribers, so I know that you're gonna get. I know some of them are gonna come and check it out.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm on Twitter and Instagram. Just look for. I'm wherever you think you might find me. Just look for Ela Darling.
1 L.
ELA. Yeah, ELA Darling.
Yeah.
Because of course I fucking had to be precious about that dumb shit. Fuck SEO, I guess.
So I wanted to ask one last question before you take off. So where do you see the adult industry, porn, whatever, right? Where do you see that evolving to, right? Because you're kind of at the forefront of the marriage of technology and porn. Do you foresee it going the VR route, or is it the future of it in OnlyFans, where it's now a decentralized thing and everybody's their own director and content creator? Or what do you think?
I think it's both. I think that VR porn is definitely, I've seen it. I've seen how much it's grown. It is going to continue to grow, especially as new headsets reach the market, and certain headsets that reach the market are incentivized by millionaires or billionaires to be jailbroken so that you can actually do whatever the fuck you want with your headset instead of what Facebook decides you should do.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm like...
I don't trust human beings that much to do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, I'm like subtweeting Oculus right now. Subtweeting, whatever. VR porn is going to continue to be big, and it's going to continue to grow. AR porn will eventually figure out what the fuck it's doing and be something probably cool way down the line because of nuanced shit that isn't exciting or interesting to talk about. But I also do think the decentralized performer-driven spaces like OnlyFans, not necessarily just OnlyFans, but similar spaces are going to be pretty fucking big. I mean, they already are. They're already huge.
Yeah.
I'm worried that OnlyFans is going to do what a lot of companies have done, which is really start off by gaining traction because they are permissive of adult content, and then get successful enough where they can just say, fuck you guys, bye.
Yeah,
Right.
I worry
And
about
then
that too. But
fuck
yeah,
people
I
over.
think because there's other platforms out there, and I also worry about like people throwing off the curve and shit like that. Like there's a lot of really weird stuff going on with OnlyFans. I know a ton of OnlyFans content creators. I used to fucking be one. Like it's a weird platform to work on.
It is, and there's already a template for this. I mean, Tumblr did this shit themselves.
Yeah.
They had a really thriving community because of like adult stuff, and then
People were so angry when they took porn off fucking Tumblr.
Don't take this porn away.
Yeah, and it sucked. And it's like that wasn't even monetized in the way that this platform is. So like I'm already preparing myself. I'm trying to look into alternatives that I could sort of start putting some energy into for when that almost inevitably happens. But yeah, so I think going back to your question, I think VR has a huge future in porn. I think it would be disingenuous to say that all porn is going to be VR in the future, because it's not. But you are going to find some increasingly.
Yeah, but diversifying that work is going to work to everybody's benefit. Like it can't just be one thing.
Exactly. I think the VR experiences are going to continue to get even better and even more like technologically advanced. It's going to continue to be fucking amazing.
I'm going to stop dating once I find this. I need that obscure Oculus setup so that I don't even fucking have to dick with this at all.
eBay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't have to get a shoe thrown at me because I was late.
Right. Might happen.
Actually, no, the technology is going to progress to the point that
you'll
the
have
virtual
a haptic
performer
suit
will.
Feel it, you know?
Yeah, she is going to still do that.
Cool. So like my VR porn dates can hate me as much as my actual dates do.
Indeed.
This is Ela Darling, and you're listening to Warlord Radio Podcast.